Hi, this is Ishio, and this is Betweenside. This is a new game. It's coming out on the 12th of September, so I'm not sure when this video is going to go out, but I do have an early copy, so thank you to the developers for sending me a copy of this game ahead of time. Let's check this out. Oh, okay. Oh shit. So, okay, so it's very quiet actually. I'm not sure what kind of game this is going to be. Is it going to be a little bit spooky? Let's have a little peek before I venture. Okay. 0 pages written. Okay, so let's head on in. Oh! Monday, January 10th, 1921. Ain't right, the elderly caretaker said, nosing his keepsake at this hour. Why, you asked? My train leaves for London early tomorrow morning. I have no time for superstition. You'll conjure up a ghost or something in the dark. Give yourself a fright, the caretaker sighed. Vincent, Mr. Tressilian said. You shook your head and smiled. Clicked to choose, and then thanked the caretaker for his help, and then left the caretaker in silence. Let's start off on a good foot. Let's say thank you for your help. You thanked the caretaker for his help finding the room, if not for his condescension. 2 days previous, the patriarch of this grand family home, Vincent Tressilian, died. He was survived only by his late sister's children, a niece and 2 nephews, all just beginning adulthood. You have been employed as family attorney to execute the will, a job completed once you have inventoried the items bequeathed by their uncle. For the past couple of years, Mr. Tressilian refused to leave his chamber. All his valued possessions lie inside the room in which he lived and died. Okay, so this is the room where he died. Lovely. How charming. Okay, so everything's kind of sepia tinted. So now everything's kind of blue. There's a key. Okay. Oh, open that. Vincent, what was the place in Paris called? Henry said. It was noon in some distant province, and we were sharing the shade. 2 soldiers missing the cold embrace of Europe. The one where you got cockeyed on absinthe, I replied. Yeah, and you talked them out of calling the police. Was it the Subcontinental? The Sanguine Bar, maybe? No, it was called... What was it called? It was called... La Nuit. The Night Cat. I don't know. The end. Okay, so I think maybe I was supposed to type a little bit more of the story. So this is kind of like you're going through the memories of your deceased uncle and you're filling in the gaps or kind of rewriting it to how it suits you. It's quite an interesting way to do it. Okay, the end. Click. You open the wardrobe to find Vincent Tressilian's collection of outfits. Most are black, for that was the fashion that came upon him in his waning years. Each garment bore witness to his story, the excess of the Duke Windermere's winter solstice. What was the Duchess thinking to hold her summer party in spring? Where would a minor royal acquire so many corpses anyway? Old clothes are of little monetary value, but one might find nostalgic pleasure in owning them. Okay, we have options. They were left to the niece, who, being of a similar sartorial inclination to her uncle, might find new life for the outfits after some alteration, yet more tales to be observed. Or they were left to the elder nephew, who sees no value in sentimentality, and would see that they find a new home amongst the less deserving. Or the younger nephew believes they have seen too much. I guess it would make sense to leave it to the niece. We'll go with that. Okay. So we're by the window. Can look at that. So let's have a look around the room before we click on anything. What we got? Some stuff, a dresser, something on the wall, a drawing, the bed, there's a chest at the end of the bed, some stuff on the floor. There's all kinds of things going on. Oh, all kinds of things. How about the portrait? Let's get to that. My caretaker came to me one late Friday afternoon. Mr. Tresidian, sir, if it pleases you, may I have this evening off? Of course you may, Joan. I said over my newspaper. Are you headed to the fete? I am, sir, yes. Are you taking anyone with you? Yes, I'm meeting with a friend. Is it a lady friend? In a manner of speaking, sir. Oh, I see. Joan left for the evening, leaving me alone to my demons. I retired to my chamber to consider my oblivion. Wow. Rewrite the past, live with the pain, take the pain. A portrait of Vincent's great-grandfather, Thomas Tresidian. He was not the conventional Georgian gentleman. Despite the disadvantages of death, he remains patriarch in absentia, for it is he that took them out of poverty and began their marital tradition, making their name, he who married so far above his station, forging an aristocratic line. It is he who still defines the family conduct. All wish to live up to his memory, and like him, not allow any to degrade their position. His countenance is remarkably similar to that of Vincent Tresidian. Okay, it's left to the elder nephew, who tends to surpass them. Wow. It's left to the niece, for whom her great-great-grandfather was everything she aspires. Or it was left to the younger nephew, who seems to bury the traditions that created them. Wow, so what are the consequences of these decisions? So far we've given one thing to the niece. Let's give it to the elder nephew. We'll do that. You can have that one. So he's the head of the family. Alright, so what's this on the wall? It's the skull mark. Okay, I'm a bit worried. Okay. Vincent, my mother said to me, why did you hit that boy? I was 9 years old, yet it remains a formative memory. He pushed me and called me names. Did you tell teacher about this? They said I was making it up. My mother nodded. What did the boy look like as you beat him? He was crying. And has he called you names since? No, I'm sorry, Anne. No, my mother said. Now you know, sometimes violence is the answer. Oh, wow. Let's rewrite the past this time. Why did you hit the boy? Because I'm an evil and insecure person. It felt good and I don't regret it. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go with that. That's pretty messed up. Okay. Vincent had a quiet fondness for plants. Once as a child he managed to plot in the family garden, but he was asked to stop by the gardener after all he tended to withered. It seems he was born with a black thumb, an astonishing capacity for discouraging plants from growth. Throughout his life he tried to care for little specimens. Flowers, herbs, even cacti failed, no matter what affection he put into their nurture. In time he yielded, instead choosing to commission a local artist to paint his favourite flower, an ode to life that could not decay. Yet looking closely at the image, you notice the petals are just starting to brown. Okay, leave it to the older nephew, for his uncle feared an undecorated office would make him seem inhuman. While the older nephew's a bit of a hard case, isn't he? Leave it to the younger nephew, who had the gift of life as well as death. And leave it to the niece to remind her that all things die eventually. So the only person we've not given anything to is the younger nephew. He can have this one. Okay. Oh. What? Are we outside of the room? We're looking inside the room and there's all this weird... Okay. So it's the words that I've typed. Can we come back into the room? That's creepy. No, I'm stuck outside the room. Can I come back? Can I come in? Knock knock. It's quite strange actually. It is a bit unnerving that we're outside of the room looking in and we've got all these memories floating around in kind of like this space. So how do we get back in? There must be a way. Just go around the room. Hello? How do we come in? What is this? What is this? Okay, it's like a flying bug. Like a fly. Okay, we'll click on it. Someone was thumping on the front door. Just a moment, Thomas shouted. He hastened through his dark-lit house as he tied his robe and then threw open the door. Ada, what in the heavens is it? A woman at the door struggled to catch her breath. It's your wife, she said. What about Elizabeth? I had a dream. Thomas snorted. A dream? You wake me on a perfectly splendid Sunday morning because you had a bad dream. Listen, hysterical woman, he scowled. Okay, out with it. What was this fantasy about? I stood in the middle of the circle, in a field. Everywhere about me was a red mist except for the circle. The mist clung to the ground and flickered like it was made of fire, and everything it touched turned to pink dust and floated away. There was singing like an orchestra being tuned, but with a human voice. I turned around and saw a sickening white shape. Its form was like the mockery of your wife. The mist seemed to be coming from it, falling down its contours like a cloak. It flickered like the mist, but stood perfectly still. Then came flashes. I saw blood, a strange vase. I saw an iron beast consume a rustic village. I saw a lawyer nearly... Wow, you're talking nonsense. Please, I have to see her. You've never wanted to see her before. Please, Thomas. He sighed and smiled. Fine, if it will cure you of this fantasy. Thomas led Ada upstairs, and to the chamber. Outside hung a metal key. He unlocked the door and stepped inside. Thomas looked around. He admired his pristine carpets and brand new dresser. Above him hung a portrait of himself he had commissioned, distinguished, aristocratic. And then he looked at the bed. Sheets crinkled, a cushion on the floor, a small but visible stain on the pillow. Where's Elizabeth? What happened? We're back inside the room. What happened? Oh shit. Okay. So there was a... What was with the fly looking... Oh. Okay. I've gone outside and there's someone outside. So let's try this window. As a young man, I spent some time in Paris. There were myriad attractions for a junior officer and many opportunities for disgrace. The evening I most recall was when I stole the pistol of a famous duellist. Her name was Clemence, though she did not live up to her namesake. We had been told no man had been hurt in a French duel for 40 years, barring one fool American. So it was with no fear that Henry accepted her challenge, a contest for the heart of some gentle mademoiselle. By some miracle, he survived being shot in the chest, while she escaped unscathed. There was such commotion, and in the distraction, I thought to pilfer her weapon, lest Henry want a memento. He did not. Okay. We'll live with that pain. That is weird. You look out of the window onto the street below. It's dark and raining heavily, but in the glow of a solitary street lamp, you think you make out a figure. Yeah, we saw them. About as tall as you are, its features are impossible to determine, but it's staring at you. There is something off about the figure, almost human. Wave or stare? Stare. The creature makes you feel uneasy, yet you can't look away, nor does it stop looking at you. Does it even have eyes? It has an eerie stillness that nothing alive possesses, yet the edges of the creature contort and twitch. It's a thing. You pull yourself away and conclude the foul staring contest. Okay, so let's step away from the person staring into our house. No. Do not like. There's a sword. There's so many things. And each little thing seems to have a little kind of icon as to what they might indicate. Okay, there's a loose sock. It's really strange. It's slightly jarring and a little bit creepy. I mean, I wasn't expecting that figure. That really threw me. Alright, let's go... What should we check out? There's loads of stuff on this table. Let's check out this one. What happened by Elizabeth Tresillian when little Hadibal, oh my god, was born to a destitute mine in town. I don't think anyone figured much of me. My father raised me as well as he could, but couldn't afford to keep 3 daughters. I met a lad called Tommy, and when I was of age we married. He joined the army like his dad, and I waited for him while he sought his fortune. When he told me his plan to steal a piece of nobility for ourselves, I got scared. Let's go with that. I'll type that out. I wanted to run away. I regret everything. Let's keep it nice and cheerful, shall we? Yeah? Okay, the end. Many letters have been crafted here. Not an unsociable man, Vincent nonetheless preferred the measured pace of mail to the ad-lib momentum of a physical conversation, or worse, the stilted miscommunications of the telephone. A few scraps of paper are scattered around, drafts of thank-you replies to the letters concerning his failing health. Here lies a letter to the editor of the local periodical, correcting them on some detail of an article on the colonies. Looking closely, you can make out words marked on wood through paper by a man with a firm but impatient hand. The desk, while in need of a quick buff and polish, is in fair condition. Vincent had acquired it only recently, replacing the one that had belonged to his mother, Anne. It was the last thing that remained from her disappearance. Okay, you leave it to the niece, leave it to the younger nephew, who could spend longer composing his thoughts. Wow, left to the elder nephew, if he was to shelter from battle behind the desk. Let's give it to the younger nephew. If he values writing, that's kind of cool. We'll go with that. So, okay, this is a really interesting game. It looks as though you just need to go through all of the points, read everything, and discover what happened to the family. And some weird things happened. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go. That person's still out there, I do not like. Okay, but yeah, we're going to continue this. But for now, this is Ysty signing off, and hopefully I'll see you next time.